Welcome back to another episode of Kotlin Bootcamp for Programmers. In this episode, I'm going to talk about the generics. So for more examples that we will give to you in upcoming episode, you should go into source and you have to create a new package. I call it the generics. Inside the generics, I created a file that is aquarium.kt file. Now inside this aquarium.kt file, I will proceed with my examples and with my definitions. So I'm going to talk about the generics. What is generics in Kotlin? Imagine you are implementing a MyList like this. You have implemented MyList like this, and that class that hold a list of items. Without generics, you would need to implement a new version of MyList for each type. One for double, one for string, one for fish, and for example, one for some other parts. With generics, you can make the list generic, so it can hold any type of object. It is like making the type a wildcard that will fit many types. So how we can define a generics? Let's go and define some basic generics class. I have a class and it is called MyList. MyList. It is like simple class we already had, and this is your simple class you already had. Now after class name, you can make an like this, an angle brackets. You can call it this one angle brackets, and inside angle brackets you have to type a name for your generic type. For example, if you type it string, so this generic will get only string. If you type it integer, you are limiting your list to integer. If you don't type these, if you don't type like these primitive data type that already exists in Kotlin, your list will be generic. Suppose I want to make it as a T, because all the generic name is defined as a T. It is clear among all the programming language. It's a best practice for your programming to keep it as a T, because it is common. Now I can make a function inside that class. Function get, I want to get the position of my list, and this will get integer. It have to send the T. I means any type that T was, it will send the T. If it was double, it will send a double. If this T is a fish, so it will send a fish. Position, we will send sorry for this, it will send a fish. And we can do some implementation of to-do list here, or we can add a new function like function. I can add item in our list. Item, it is T. We will get an item of type T, and we will proceed with that like this. So this is the basic creation or the syntax how we can create a generic type class in Kotlin programming language. Let's go with a good example that will show you the concept behind the generics, how it works. I want to create a open class called water supply and a new class called tap water. Now this water supply, it takes only one properties, need processing, and this is the boolean. And I have a class called tap water. It extends water supply. If you don't know how inheritance works, I clearly discuss about that in the previous episode. You can go back and check it out. And this water supply you have to send for that need processing, and it needs only one. It has only one parameters. It has only one member function. It is add chemical cleaners. Now I want to add two more classes for this, like water supply. I have tap water. It needs processing. Tap water, it's not clear, it should be processed. And the fish store water, we don't need to process the water, or we don't need to clean the water before we use that. Or for the lake water, if we get the water from the lake and to add that water to our aquarium, we have to process that. We have to send the true to this water supply. I means we have to process that, and after we filter the water, we should make that net processing false. We don't need furthermore we don't need to process that. Now till here we discuss about these topics in previous episodes. We created a base class, we made it as a open. Now I created three water source class, and these are all implementing, or these are all extending water supply. Now here I want to make a generic class to support all of them. Class, I want to make an aquarium class aquarium, and this aquarium will get or will extend. Let's make it it takes only one parameters, val water supply. Now before the generics, if you don't have the generics data types, now for water supply we have three types of water supply: lake water, fish water, tap water. We can make any of them, like we can send fish water store, like this fish water store. And after I created let's make a new function and call it generic example, and we should send that. Now here in the generic, I want to remove this. Here in the generic example, I created an instance of this aquarium, and this aquarium need water supply, and this water supply is type of fish store, like fish store. I cannot send any other type. I cannot send like lake water. For that purpose, here I have to send just only fish store, and then we can use this aquarium. This aquarium dot we have water supply dot we have net processing, like this. We can access that what aquarium, this is aquarium objects, and we send water supply here. Fish store has water supply, this water supply, and after fish store, this fish store extended this water supply, it has net processing. Like this we can access net processing. I means now we send it for this water supply only fish store water. Now I cannot send, for example, lake water to our aquarium. Here I cannot send lake water. Required fish store water, found lake water. Or I cannot send this tap water. I cannot send this tap water to our aquarium objects. Even I cannot send an object. I cannot send some other like a string. I cannot send a string, anything else. For this purpose, I want this aquarium be a generic data types that get all of this, because these are the data types. Water supply has three classes: child class, tap water, fish store, lake water. It need this aquarium will get water from all of this, but for this purpose I have to create three different classes for them. For example, first for lake water, this is it is fish store water. I have to send fish store water, and again for this lake water I have to create it same thing. Before this I have to create this class aquarium. I want to make it three types. We have only right now three types, or we can send anything else. Now I can create the class of aquarium with fish store. I can create class of aquarium with this lake water. I can create with the tap water also. This tap water also. Water supply takes tap water. Now it is the name is the aquarium redundancy. I have to change the name also. For example, 1 or 2, I have to change the name also. It means this takes lots of time for us. We don't need all of this. We only need one generic data type that takes all of them. I want to remove this, and one line of code after the class name. I want to type only one T, angle brackets, inside angle brackets only one T. Now this water supplies text T generic types instead of fish store. This water supplies text T, anything we specify here. If you specify here as a, for example, generic, you have to make this one as a generic. If I specify here generic, you have to place it here as a generic. I means this is a name, you can type it anything, but I want to type it as a T because it is the common among all programmers. Now our generic classes ready, we can use them. Now how we can use them? As you see, now I created a generic type of aquarium. Now with the same aquarium I can send any of this. I can send lake water here, I can send fish, I can send tap water, As you see right now, we are not getting any error. It means this water supply now takes any parameters, we can access them all together. Now let's see an example for that. I want to use this example here. Tap water aquarium. We created an aquarium class, that's tap water, and now I am sending the tap water. Tap water needs processing, and after processing we add the chemical generics. Then our processing will be false. Now we can run that program from here. I have to call this function from the main function because it is the starter point. If I run the program right here right now, I will get nothing because I'm not printing anything to get here. So let's see. For now, just this is add chemical, it will add the chemical to false, like this. Now let's go back to another examples. I want to see what is the value of this need processing before and after adding the chemical. Now here I have aquarium tap water as before. Tap water, sorry, where is tap water as before? It needs processing in the first, and here I created the tap water and it needs processing first. Now I want to display water needs processing aquarium. This aquarium dot water supply, I extended this aquarium and water supply. Now this water supply, for this water supply I send it this tap water. This T, it will store for this water supply, it will store tap water, this tap water, and this tap water has add chemical cleaners. We can access that add chemical cleaner here. Now I want to see this water need processing before adding the chemical and after adding chemical. If I run the program right now and let's see the output. Here as you see, water needs processing true. Before adding the chemical cleaner to our water needs processing here, and after we added chemical cleaner, our water is clean. Now we don't need water processing for that, as you see in the example. So now let's make it more specific in our this generics. Make it this more specific. It is, for example, it takes anything right now, even it takes a string, even it takes null. For example, if I send here, if I remove here, and if I send, this is the tap water, I want to remove this here. If I specify here a tap water, so I cannot send here as a string anything, as a string or anything else. If I remove this, I can send here anything. If I remove this, I can send here anything. For example, I am sending my name, or I am sending Amen Kodar here. It takes anything you are sending. And if I print here aquarium dot water supply, it means you are sending this main encoder to this water supply. This main encoder will store to the water supply, and if I print this one, you will get my main encoder println main encoder. If I run this, you will get as a main encoder. Even you send a null here. Even you can send a null. You see, you get a main encoder. Even we can send a null value here. Let's send a null value. What will happen if I send a null value? Now if I print water supply, we will get a null value, or anything, we will get a null value. It means we can send a null also. Here we are getting a null. So for this purpose, if you don't want it to be null, you have to do something like this. So I wanna remove this one, and here for the aquarium T, by default this aquarium T is and after that it is type of any and a question marks. By default it is any, and this type of T is any type, and it takes anything it wants, or anything in the Kotlin programming language. If you don't want it to be null, or it don't require a null value, right now we can send a null here, but if you don't want, we cannot send a null, we have to remove this one. This means by default it is nullable, this type, it takes on null also. If you don't want, you have to do a T, you have to explicitly define this any. We will not allow to pass a null value to the aquarium. Now we cannot pass a null, but we can still send a string here, as you see, but still we can send a string here. Even do we need only lake water, we need only fish water, we need only tap water, but we can send a string here. We can get it more specific. For example, this aquarium should be water supply, not honey. This aquarium should be water supply, because you are getting the water supply here, water supply, because these tap water, this fish store, this lake water, all of them are water supply, because it extends water supply. Now if we take water supply from the user to this aquarium class, we are only allowed water supply, not a string, not integer, only water supply. Now we cannot send a string, we can send only these three classes to our aquarium. Now I want to send lake water like this. I have to send the object of lake water like this, or I can send the fish store, anything else, and but we cannot send like integer, something else. It has to be a water supply class for this, like this. Let's do one more checking in our aquarium. We are not checking right now aquarium that let's make one function here. I want to add one function, that is but adding water in our aquarium. This aquarium need to add a water. This water should be checked. Before we add the water, we should check the water. We can use the check function. It takes only one parameters, that is nothing but a boolean. Now if this boolean become true, it will throw exception for that. It will throw an illegal state exception. Means I want to write here, if this check become true, this will return as illegal state exception. This illegal state exception, this exception it will return. Now if it become true, it will return illegal step exception. Now I want to add this, I want to use aquarium dot add water supply dot add water, because this aquarium it takes water supply and add water if I use that function right now, it is true. It extends an illegal state exception, and we can send an like this. We can send a parameter for that. For example, water supply needs processing first. Water supplies need processing. Now let's make it as a false. Check false. If I run the programming again, now let's see the output. As you see, you are getting an exception, illegal state exception, and water needs processing. Water needs processing. Here mentioned here the message, and the exception is illegal state exception. Now I wanna check this one. I wanna check water supply dot need processing. If water supply need processing, don't return anything. Do by default. If water supply don't needs processing, go back to the next episode. If water supply need processing, stop the process and don't go to the next line. Println adding water from water supply. If water supply is clean or doesn't need processing, directly come here and add the water to the water supply or to the aquarium. Now let's run our program again. I wanna have this class aquarium from the lake water. I wanna have an aquarium from the lake water. Aquarium, the lake water. Now this lake water by default it needs processing, and after we filtered it, it doesn't need processing. Now aquarium, add aquarium. Now if I do add water before this one, because by default this aquarium need processing. Now if I run the program, we will get a exception like this, illegal state exception like this. As you see, you are getting that because aquarium lake water is not clean. If I add water to the aquarium, it will get exception. You have to clean the water first. Now if I remove this comment here, before I added the water, I have to do aquarium water supply dot filter. I have to filter the water supply. This function filter water supply. This water supply filter the water, and after that we don't need any processing further. Now if I run the program again, so it will come here and run this function for us adding water from the generic lake water. It means adding water from water supply. This is it for this video, guys. If you like the video, please thumbs up. If you don't like, please comment below the reason. We can improve ourselves together. And if you're new to this channel, please subscribe to my channel and get that bell icon, turn it on, and see you soon on the next video.